What's up, you guys? We have a really special episode for you guys today. It's not what we normally post. However, just recently we got the opportunity to be interviewed and to interview the YouTube couple Jamie and Sarah. And in doing so, we learned some really interesting things that you guys might not have known. So stay tuned. And before we jump into the interview, just wanted to mention our next video. It's going to be really exciting. We're going to attempt to flip $100 worth of profit, shoe-wise, in a 24-hour time period and teach you guys how to do the same. Jamie and Sarah, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
No
thanks
problem.
for having us.
Who doesn't know, if you want to just briefly introduce you guys' channel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we are Jamie and Sarah, and we have a YouTube channel based. We do a lot of different stuff on our YouTube channel. We have done a lot of furniture flipping, and we've done some house flips. We really like to just showcase different ways to make money outside of a 9-to-5 job. We haven't had typical like salary 9-to-5 jobs in about 8 years, so we've kind of lived a lot of life in this, like, find a different just different income
Different
streams,
source
I
of
guess.
income,
Yeah. So
Yeah, Jamie,
Enjoying it so far, I would assume.
what's that?
Enjoying that freedom there, I would assume.
Yes, that is for sure the best part of it. I think like we do have to give up things as far as like security of a paycheck every week and insurance and things like that. That's kind of the price we pay for living this life, but I think it's totally worth it.
sometimes I think we're working harder than a normal salary job as
But
well.
we get
too.
to do it together.
That's true.
It's not really work.
That's
Right.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a grind, but
Oh yeah.
totally.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I gotta throw a curveball, Jamie.
Sure.
I gotta crunch you on something, man. How were you able to muster up the courage to do all these projects in Yeezys, man?
Oh, oh boy. Oh boy.
You have some balls of steel.
Well, this is confession time.
I'm sure he already knows.
Oh, you probably do. Yeah.
He knows.
They're Chinese. They're not real.
Oh.
He didn't know. He
Oh.
pulled it.
Well, that's gonna have to be the title of this video, Jamie.
You can.
Called us out.
You can. I was browsing wish.com and I came across them and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to order those.
They're actually like backwards. Maybe that's why you
Alright.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Anyways, I wear them all the time because they're literally the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn. It feels like I'm just wearing socks.
He does. Every time he wears them, he's like, I love these shoes.
Well,
So
that makes me feel a little bit better now, seeing you do projects in them. So I
Oh.
hold my breath the entire time.
Yes. They were like $30.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, they were. Yeah. So
he feels pretty cool when he's in them though.
Yeah.
Pretends.
That's okay. That's a good answer. I would have been a little bit more shocked if they were legit. So
secrets out.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yes. Oh, funny.
yeah. So just in terms of, I guess, the first question, what really prompted you guys to kind of begin creating more unique income streams? What really what prompted that?
Sure.
Yeah, so we started a wedding photography business 8-9 years ago. Jamie was actually a high school science teacher at the time, and I was working in an insurance company. So we had 9-to-5 type jobs briefly, but I didn't really love working a 9-to-5. It felt like I was, I don't know, kind of like wasting my.
Yeah.
I wasn't a bad life. I felt like there could be more. There was more to life. That's just how I felt. And so we started the wedding photography business, and it really took off within a few months. And so we really dove headfirst into that for a really long time and really poured our heart and soul into that.
And I was able to be a big part of that too at first, because
Yeah.
Wedding season is typically in the summer months, and that's when I had off. So
True. Yeah. It worked out.
It worked out really well to start
Okay.
easing into that lifestyle. Yeah. And so eventually it worked out to be where we were both doing it. And in the winter months, it was definitely slower for us. And so we're like, well, we probably could spend our time doing some other things too. So like, what else is out there? We had an interest in real estate investing. So we started, a few years later had met my mentor and our realtor who introduced us to rental property investing. And so that's kind of how all that was born. And so during winters, I would fix up houses, and then summers we would shoot weddings. So a big resource was my mentor. His name is Doug, and he is a really he's a contractor, a typical contractor, but he's also extremely knowledgeable and wise. And so he kind of just taught me some of those skills that would cost a lot to hire out that you can do yourself and save a lot of money. So
Just learn by doing.
Yeah,
just lots of experimenting, and he got better and better. I think your first electrical project was on a camper, and so that's where he really learned electrical.
Yeah.
But most of it, honestly, is confidence.
Yeah.
He just is just like, I can figure it out, and he goes and he does, and I'm just okay, But so I think that with anything, a lot of it is just like you got to have the confidence to be like, I'll figure this out.
Give it a try. Yeah.
And
our first shot we did was not so good.
Her first shot, whatever. I thought
quality wise, but now we're getting better. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, how do you guys? One thing we kind of not necessarily struggle with, but are definitely learning is just the juggling of all the different responsibilities. With your business and personal life all just kind of blending in as one. How do you guys just juggle all those responsibilities?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we don't. Is a short answer. Is there's not much of a balance there.
I think we were talking about this earlier. I think work-life balance is a big term people use, and how it's important to have a work-life balance. But I guess we don't really think of it that way. It's more like, what am I willing to sacrifice for this goal? So like when you're starting out a business or trying to build up a side hustle, it's like, I'm going to have to make time for it if I really am passionate about it and really want to make it work. So something's going to have to give. Either it's TV or, maybe not hanging out with friends as much. Stuff does have to be sacrificed if you really want it. So sleep.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think you should kill yourself and have a bad life over but if you want something bad enough, then you have to be willing to sacrifice. We have two girls, so that obviously adds to the chaos.
Our girls make accomplishing and being productive much more difficult, but
everything we do for them. So it's kind of that's more so what we have to keep in check is like what's the most important, and our girls are the most important. So that's more so what we have to like keep in check or in balance.
Do you see as common excuses when people kind of start in this realm of reselling and whatnot? And how would you respond to that?
I think big ones we get on YouTube are like, oh, that wouldn't work where I live. Either my location's too expensive or people don't buy furniture here, which is kind of a
even like with real estate, you don't have to buy where you live either. Yeah.
So
that's a big one.
Location's big one. What were some other ones we talked about?
Just time. I don't have time for that. But everybody watches TV or sleeps 8-10 hours a night. It's like time.
People say they don't have money a lot, but they, like you said, they do have time. So definitely some of those things that are just excuses.
I mean, you can start reselling with like $5-10 and just grow it from there, one at a time.
Right.
So, no excuses there.
Yeah, you can. Totally. Yeah, for sure. There's always money to be made anywhere. So if you need money, like it's out there, you can make it.
Yeah, some of our favorite furniture flipping videos we've done have been free furniture, so you don't even really need money.
Yeah.
You guys think that kind of flipping and reselling is a good long-term like career path for people? Do you see it just as a means to an end, or how do you view that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Do you want me to it?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
I personally don't think that reselling in and of itself would be a great long-term career, unless you had some sort of a plan to just manage it from afar. I think like you said, means to an end, like either using it to get out of debt or to get enough money to invest in something else is great. But you can, I mean, so my mentor Doug, he's getting really hardcore into reselling Amazon pallets, and he
Is it?
has like he has like a 10,000 square foot warehouse that he is now in with like 3 truckloads at a time.
Yeah, they make
It's
like
crazy.
insane money. So
They have like 10 employees. Yeah, so you could scale it that big, but
yeah, you can do it. It's not a question of if you can or not. It's just for us, I'm not sure. You might get burnt out on it. And I think it's important to just have different streams of income all over the place. So if it's one of them, for sure, but I wouldn't necessarily want to rely on it for us like by itself. So,
yeah, and that was always our mindset with wedding photography too. We said we know that this is temporary, and we know that it can change from year to year. So like we need to have other ways of money coming in case that falls off or dies off. And COVID was a perfect example of that, because we lost 80% of our business overnight. So
totally, yeah. Nobody could get married last year. So like if we would have been counting on that, like we would have been screwed.
No, absolutely. Just a kind of a fun question for you guys. If you could relocate yourselves in your business anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
it's a tough question. You should answer that one.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. So Jamie and I traveled a lot before we had kids. And I feel like we got kind of that bug out of us of feeling like we needed to relocate. So right now, like we're back in our home state with our families. We talk a lot about living somewhere remotely for like a month or two, like every year. So I think if we were to do that, we would like we're fixing up an Airstream right now. So our plan with the girls and just work remotely that way, like all over the US. But I mean, I've even we met people when we were over in Europe that bought a camper van over there and traveled Europe for 8 months, you know? So I think I could see us every year doing something like that for like a couple months, but then always coming back to our home base in Michigan with our families. Because honestly, I love Michigan. I love the snow. I love
the seasons.
I love everything about it. So for me, I think that this is always going to be home, but I do love to travel, but I also am a homebody. So I think once or every year we'll leave for like a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Travel and then be home with your family too.
Yeah. And living in a place like Michigan is cheap enough that it allows you to be able to travel more because your living expenses are so low. So
true, yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
What kind of encouragement or advice would you give to people who kind of just feel stuck in the 9 to 5, who want to just make a change?
Yeah. We didn't talk about this.
No, what you got?
Let's see. Nothing yet. Yeah.
I think okay. I would tell people that you just really have to take a leap of faith and have confidence in yourself and just do it. Like you can't wait. Like there's always going to be a reason to wait. Like, oh, I need to have this much in my savings account, or you know, I need to have this backup plan, or I need to have this good of a website before I can do this, or I need to have this many videos put out, or whatever your side hustle is. Like you can always have a plan, and then that's your excuse for never starting. So I get so frustrated with people who complain about their jobs and then don't do anything about it. So I would just say you have to start now. Like there's money to be made anywhere and everywhere. You can always, like we were talking about earlier, you can always make money to pay rent. So like if you hate your job, quit. Like I
Yeah.
maybe you disagree, but like
I think that it's harder said than done, but also in the same breath that she was saying is like there's so many ways to make money out there, and something I never realized growing up is how little of sales you need to overtake like what a typical salary would be. So like if you break down $50,000 over a year, like you can make that doing random tasks, you know, like, and it adds up a lot quicker than you would think it would. So kind of like Sarah was saying, is just getting started and building that new income stream is really important. So
yeah, totally. And start investing as soon as you can. Yeah.
Work for you, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for having us. It's great talking to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Thanks so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned next week for our attempt to flip $100 worth of shoes in a 24-hour time period. As always, if you liked this video or got any value out of it, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks so much, and have a good one, guys.